Chance, Rip, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, and, of course, Sheed. Those guys, y'all were the opposite of a super team. There was not a single max player on the roster. A lot of these guys were in their third or fourth franchise because things hadn't worked out elsewhere. Chauncey, the guy who would end up as finals MVP. Well, the Pistons were his fifth franchise. There were some people starting to wonder if he was a draft bust. But together, well, all those guys together, they were so much greater than the sum of their parts. I have to say, I have covered a lot of teams since then, a lot of championships. I've never seen a group quite like those guys. They pulled off one of the greatest upsets in NBA Finals history when they beat the Lakers. And that LA team, well, that was a super team. Kobe, Shaq, Gary Payton, Karl Malone. And yet, these guys dismantled them, both physically and mentally. And all of this, I gotta say, was very top of mind for me last night. Not only knowing Rip was going to join us today, but also watching Golden State deliver that beatdown against the Clippers. It's full circle here, right? Here we are again with another super team of Hall of Famers and All-Stars. But the difference is this is now an era of super teams, right? So, Chance, do you think that your scrappy Pistons team, a team like that, could win a title in this league again, or in this era of free agency and the way the contracts are, that's done?
Well, I'll say this. And people ask all the time, our great teams, could they beat the Warriors? Could they beat these great teams? To me, it depends on the rules.
Yeah. Right.
If it's the 2004 mid-2000 rules, we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine, and we will win.
Right.
If it's 2016, where you can't play D and you can't touch a guy, you can't play the way that we played, we're gonna have our hands full. It'd be tough.
But it's also about,
and it's just that simple to me.
Yeah, it's not just about what kind of players you have, but also just the emotion and the way you guys played together, right?
Sure.
It wasn't just about talent with you guys.
Absolutely. We had a great mix. We were a type of team that just didn't play together on the basketball court. We also shared a lot of special moments off the basketball court. Doing Christmas parties together, spending New Year's Eve at Rasheed Wallace's home.
Oh, can we get that story?
That was an experience.
That's exclusive. That was an experience there.
Well, what made us so special, and if you match us up to a Golden State Warriors team, was we were able to switch every position. So with Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace being our rim protectors on their team, they were great on-ball defenders. So even at times when we played against Cleveland and LeBron James, we would never trap pick and roll. We would just switch and say, all right, Ben or Rasheed, guard that person man up.
When you look at their squad and then you look and say, they're talking about matching up against the Warriors, what do you think?
It's the same. I got to piggyback off of Chauncey. It depends on what era, right? Because the rules make a huge difference in this. In today's game, it allows these guys to run free through the paint off of these screens, and that's what they're great at. But when you can put some wood on them, Ben Wallace and Rasheed put some wood on and slow them down.
You don't need max players.
You don't have those legs. You don't have those fresh legs when you get wood on you throughout the game. So it all depends on what era you play.
And then if you look at Rasheed Wallace, who's going to guard Rasheed? That was always our matchup that we was always going to explore playing against different teams. Nobody could guard him.
Always had an ace in the hole with that.
How much would you have liked to see prime Rasheed versus prime Draymond Green? How cool would that have been?
First of all, I love Draymond,
yes,
but they don't belong in the same class.
Really?
Not at all.
No.
Draymond was a pup in our locker room.
He was our guy.
Yes, he used to come in with Jordan Dumars.
He's our now, not your little.
And I'm talking about Rasheed then.
Not at all.
Draymond, although he's very arrogant sometimes,
you're talking about 6'11".
As he should be.
Yes,
I think Draymond would probably tell you the same thing.
Really?
You're talking about 6'11" with mouth.